Welcome to our deep dive into spiral dynamics and the co-creation wheel.
Yeah, two frameworks that can really help us understand.
Help us understand human development
Yeah,
and how we can use that understanding to create positive change in the world.
exactly.
You know, I've been looking over these sources
Yeah.
and I'm already fascinated.
Well, what's so fascinating about spiral dynamics?
Yeah.
That it gives us a way to look at the evolution of human consciousness.
Okay.
Not just individually, but also collectively.
I like that.
It's like a map of how our values and beliefs
Okay.
and ways of interacting with the world have evolved over time.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
So spiral dynamics is based on the idea that humans go through different stages of development,
Right.
each with its own unique worldview
Exactly.
and set of priorities.
Right.
These stages are represented by colors,
Yeah,
which I find helpful for visualizing the progression.
exactly. It starts with beige,
Okay,
which is all about basic survival, like you'd see in early hunter-gatherer societies.
got it.
Then we move to purple,
Okay,
where the focus is on safety and belonging within a tribe or clan.
no.
Think of the strong family bonds and traditions you see in something like The Godfather.
Oh, that's a great example. For example.
It helps me see how these stages play out in real life.
Yeah.
Then what comes next?
Well, after purple, we have red,
Okay.
where power and ego take center stage.
Mhm.
It's a might makes right worldview.
Okay.
Like the world of feudal lords or the cutthroat corporate world depicted in The Wolf of Wall Street.
So kind of a survival of the fittest mentality?
Precisely.
Okay.
Then things shift again with blue,
Okay.
where the need for order and structure emerges.
Mm-hmm.
Think of a strict military organization or a traditional religious group,
Okay.
where rules and beliefs provide a sense of stability and security.
Okay, so each stage builds upon the previous one.
Yeah.
Adding a layer of complexity to how humans understand the world
Yeah.
and their place in it.
It's fascinating to see how these stages play out throughout history.
It is, and what's really interesting is that these stages are not a hierarchy of better or worse.
Okay.
Each stage has its own strengths and limitations.
Oh.
And each is a necessary step in the evolution of consciousness.
So tell me what happens after blue.
Well, as societies become more complex
Mm-hmm.
and individuals start to question those rigid structures,
Okay.
we see the emergence of orange,
Okay.
which is all about achievement, individualism, and strategic thinking.
Okay.
It's the driving force behind Silicon Valley startups, for instance.
That makes sense. It's
Yeah.
that disrupt the system mentality
Yeah,
that often drives innovation and progress.
right.
So what comes after people achieve success in the material world?
Well, that's when we often see a shift to green,
Okay.
which emphasizes empathy, equality, and community.
Okay.
It's the driving force behind many social justice movements
Okay.
and environmental initiatives. People at this stage are concerned with fairness, sustainability, and creating a better world for everyone.
So if I'm understanding this correctly,
Yeah.
as we move through these stages, our focus expands from a narrow, self-centered perspective
Yeah,
to a broader, more inclusive one.
you got it.
So we're widening the circle of what we care about.
And that's precisely where things start to get really interesting
Yeah.
with what's called the second tier.
Ooh. Tell me more. What makes this second tier so special?
Well, the second tier is a significant leap in consciousness.
Okay.
It's like moving from a flat two-dimensional view of the world
Uh-huh.
to a three-dimensional one.
Okay.
Suddenly you can see the interconnectedness of everything
Okay.
in a way that wasn't possible before.
Wow. That's quite an image. So what are the stages in this second tier?
Well, the first stage is yellow,
Okay.
and it's characterized by systems thinking.
Okay.
People at this stage are able to hold multiple perspectives,
Okay.
see the bigger picture,
Hmm.
and embrace complexity. They're not looking for simple solutions.
Right.
They understand that the world is a complex web of interconnected systems.
So instead of just focusing on one issue or one solution,
Right.
they're trying to understand how everything fits together.
Exactly. And they're willing to challenge conventional thinking
Okay.
and explore new ways of approaching problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's about seeing the world as a whole,
Yeah.
not just a collection of separate parts.
That's fascinating. So how does this play out in real life?
Yeah.
What might someone at the yellow stage be doing differently?
Well, they might be drawn to careers that involve solving complex problems,
Okay.
like climate change or poverty.
Got it.
They might be involved in creating new systems and structures
Yeah, okay.
that are more sustainable and equitable.
Yeah.
They might even be working to bridge divides between different cultures and ideologies, recognizing that we're all in this together.
It sounds like reaching the yellow stage is crucial for tackling the global challenges
Absolutely.
we're facing today.
Yeah.
It's that ability to think beyond our own individual needs
Yes,
and see the interconnectedness of everything that's so important.
absolutely. And then the final stage identified so far is turquoise,
Okay.
which takes this interconnectedness even further.
Okay.
It integrates spirituality, science, and a deep understanding of our place in the cosmos.
It's like a planetary awakening.
Yes.
A recognition that we're all part of something much larger than ourselves.
Yes, and that our actions have ripple effects
Okay.
that extend far beyond our immediate surroundings. People at this stage are often driven by a sense of global responsibility
Right.
and a desire to contribute to the well-being of the planet
Okay.
and all its inhabitants.
So with spiral dynamics, we've gone from basic survival instincts
Right.
to a global interconnected perspective.
Yeah.
It's an incredible journey.
It is, and what's so exciting is that this model gives us a way to understand where we are on that journey,
Okay.
where others are, and how we can work together to create a more conscious and sustainable future.
Now, you mentioned that spiral dynamics is only one part of what we're diving into today.
Right.
Tell me more about the co-creation wheel and
Yeah.
how it fits into all of this.
Well, the co-creation wheel builds on the insights of spiral dynamics
Okay.
by providing a practical framework for taking action.
Okay.
It's like a blueprint for creating a healthy planetary civilization.
Okay. That sounds incredibly ambitious.
Yeah.
How does it break down this massive goal into something manageable?
Well, the co-creation wheel is divided into 12 sectors,
Okay.
each representing a different aspect of society
Mm-hmm.
and the systems that support it.
Okay.
It starts with personal development at the center
Okay.
and expands outward to encompass relationships, community, and ultimately global action.
So it's like a ripple effect, starting with individual transformation
Exactly.
and expanding outward to create change on a larger scale.
Exactly. And each sector of the wheel is interconnected.
Okay.
So progress in one area can have positive effects on all the others.
Okay. I'm really curious to hear more about these 12 sectors.
Sure.
What are they and how do they fit together?
Let's start with the inner circle,
Good.
which focuses on personal growth and well-being.
Got it.
There's health and wellness,
Okay.
which is about taking care of our physical, mental, and emotional health.
That's certainly a foundation for everything else, isn't it?
It is.
You can't really create a better world if you're not taking care of yourself.
Right. And then there's education and learning,
Right.
which is about cultivating knowledge skills and critical thinking.
Mhm.
It's not just about accumulating information. It's
Yeah.
about learning how to think for ourselves.
Yeah.
And how to adapt to a constantly changing world.
So it's about empowering individuals to reach their full potential.
Exactly. Then we move on to economics and business,
Okay.
which challenges us to create economic systems
Okay.
that are both prosperous and sustainable.
So moving away from that old model of take, make, waste,
Precisely.
and towards a more circular, regenerative approach.
Precisely, it's about recognizing that the economy should serve people and the planet,
Yeah.
not the other way around.
Okay, so those are the first three sectors focused on personal development.
Right.
What comes next?
Well, as we move outward, we start to focus on how individuals interact with each other
Okay.
and with the larger systems of society.
Mm-hmm.
The next sector is governance and law,
Okay.
which is about creating just and effective systems of governance.
Those are things like transparency, accountability,
Exactly.
and ensuring that everyone has a voice in the decisions that affect their lives.
Exactly. It's about creating a system where power is distributed fairly
Okay.
and where everyone feels represented.
That's crucial for a healthy society.
Yeah.
What's the next sector?
The next one is science and technology,
Okay.
which is about harnessing the power of innovation to solve problems and create a better future.
So things like renewable energy, sustainable agriculture,
Yes.
and making sure that technology is used ethically and for the benefit of humanity.
Yes. It's about making sure that technology serves us.
Not the other way around.
I like it. What's next?
Then we move on to media and communications,
Okay.
which is all about using the power of storytelling and information sharing
Mm-hmm.
to connect people, raise awareness,
Okay.
and inspire action.
So creating media that's accurate, ethical, and empowering.
Exactly.
Media that helps us understand the world and our place in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about using media to create a more informed, engaged, and compassionate society.
Okay, so we've covered 6 sectors so far.
Right.
What are the remaining 6? Welcome back to our deep dive into spiral dynamics and the co-creation wheel.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
but I'm eager to hear more about how these models are actually being used in the real world.
Well, one area where we're seeing a lot of exciting developments is in the field of education.
Okay.
Educators are starting to incorporate spiral dynamics into curriculum design and teaching methodologies.
That's interesting. What does that look like in practice?
It means moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach to teaching.
And recognizing that students learn best when the material is presented in a way that resonates with their current stage of development.
So instead of assuming all students are at the same level,
Right.
teachers can tailor their lessons to meet the unique needs of each student.
Exactly. A teacher might use different activities or examples
Okay.
to illustrate a concept,
Yeah.
depending on whether a student is primarily motivated by belonging achievement
Mm,
or social justice, for instance.
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's about meeting students where they are and helping them progress to the next level of understanding.
And it's not just about intellectual understanding.
Okay.
It's about fostering the whole person, including their emotional and spiritual development.
So it's about creating a more holistic and personalized learning experience.
Precisely. And this approach isn't limited to traditional classrooms.
Okay.
Organizations like the Spectrum Academy, which is an initiative of Planetary Citizens, are developing online courses and workshops that make these concepts accessible to a global audience.
So anyone can learn about spiral dynamics and the co-creation wheel,
Right.
no matter where they are in the world or what their background is. That's fantastic.
It is. And these concepts aren't just for educators either.
Okay.
Businesses are also starting to use spiral dynamics to create more effective teams, improve communication, and align their goals with their values.
Oh, that's interesting. How does that work?
Well, by understanding the different stages of development, leaders can create a work environment that supports the growth of their employees.
Okay.
They can tailor their communication style to resonate with different individuals.
Okay.
And they can structure projects in a way that taps into the unique strengths of each team member.
It's like using spiral dynamics as a tool for creating a more harmonious and productive workplace.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just productivity.
Yeah.
Businesses are also using the co-creation wheel to guide their sustainability efforts, their community outreach programs, and even their product development strategies.
So these models are being used to make businesses more ethical, sustainable, and aligned
Yes.
to the needs of the planet and society.
It's about recognizing that businesses have a responsibility to be good citizens of the world.
Right.
And these models provide a framework for doing just that.
That's really inspiring. It sounds like spiral dynamics and the co-creation wheel aren't just theories.
Right.
They're practical tools that can be used to make a real difference in the world.
I couldn't agree more. And the more people learn about these models, the more potential we have to create positive change on a global scale.
So for our listener who's been on this journey with us,
Yeah.
what would you say is the key takeaway? What's the one thing they should remember from this deep dive?
I think the most important takeaway is that we're not alone on this journey
Okay.
of personal and collective evolution. There's a framework for understanding where we are, where we're going, and how we can work together to create a more beautiful and just world.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness, our shared humanity,
Exactly.
and the incredible potential we have to co-create a future that works for everyone.
Exactly. And it all starts with each of us taking responsibility for our own growth and development,
Okay.
and then using that understanding to make a positive impact on the world around us.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us on this fascinating exploration of spiral dynamics and the co-creation wheel. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to take action in your own life. And community, remember, change starts with each of us.